The unexpected encounter. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the alien forest. Telm, a hunter from the alien race of the Sarnak, moved with practiced stealth. His six-legged gait and multifaceted eyes gave him a panoramic view of his surroundings. The forest was preparing for winter. Leaves were falling, and the air carried a chill. He gripped his spear tightly, searching for a Zelva, a creature vital for his family's survival through the harsh season. Despite his keen senses, Telm heard nothing. The forest seemed eerily silent. He knew he had to venture further to find prey. The trees thinned as he climbed over the hills, approaching the large, salty lake that lay beyond. Telm's patience was wearing thin when he stumbled into a clearing. There, in the midst of the forest, stood an unfamiliar being. This creature was unlike any Telm had seen before. It stood on two legs and used its other limbs for grasping objects. Its skin was smooth and dark, a stark contrast to the hard carapace of the Sarnak. Curiosity overcame Telm's initial wariness. He had seen many things in his life, but nothing like this. The creature seemed oblivious to Telm's presence as it plucked red leaves from a nearby tree. Despite its apparent lack of natural defenses, Telm hesitated. This creature's appearance was so alien that it ignited both fear and fascination within him. As the fading sun cast a golden hue over the clearing, Telm decided to approach. He moved carefully, his steps barely making a sound on the crunchy leaves. Just as he was about to strike, the creature turned and looked directly at him. Telm's heart raced. He was about to confront the unknown when the creature produced a strange, shiny, rock-like object from its appendages. It wasn't sharp, but the sight of it unsettled Telm. Before he could react, there was a deafening noise, like thunder, that reverberated through the clearing. Pain exploded in Telm's side. He looked down to see a hole in his carapace. His instincts screamed at him to retreat, but he was already too close. Another burst of thunder, and the pain intensified, cracking his carapace further. Desperation drove him to make one last charge, but the damage was too severe. He collapsed, looking up at the creature above him. It stood there, an embodiment of a god or a supernatural force, and Telm felt his life slipping away. Darkness claimed him as he lost consciousness. When Telm awoke, he was lying on a soft surface unlike anything he had ever felt. Confusion clouded his thoughts. How had he survived? He remembered the creature, the pain, and the inevitable end. Had he been taken to the afterlife? His carapace was no longer cracked. Instead, there was only a small, smooth bump where the injury had been. He was unable to move his limbs, which were bound by a thick, string-like material. The room around him was white and unfamiliar. The walls seemed to be made of a material unlike any rock or wood he knew. A strange, two-legged creature entered the room, dressed in clothing as white as the walls. It had a head and fingers that were unlike anything Telm had seen. It looked at him, then at a flat plate on the wall, before leaving the room. Telm's mind raced. He was either in the afterlife or in the domain of gods. If the creature he had encountered was capable of causing such harm, then surely there was another being capable of healing him. He pondered if he was being kept alive for judgment, or if the gods were simply ensuring he survived. Determined to escape, Telm focused on finding a way out. He noticed fine lines in the wall indicating a possible exit. As he concentrated, the passage opened, and the creature he had seen earlier entered the room. It regarded him with its eyeless face and, without a word, lifted him by his legs and carried him away. Panic surged through Telm. He was carried through a gigantic, illuminated structure that had walls of transparent material. Outside, he saw more strange beings, all different from one another. The creature who had carried him placed him into a seat, securing him with flat straps. The room was filled with strange, rumbling noises and sudden changes in gravity that left Telm disoriented and terrified. As the force pressing him into the seat intensified, Telm saw flames engulfing the room. He screamed, but a hand quickly covered his mouth. He was trapped in a terrifying cycle of weightlessness and crushing force, with no understanding of what was happening. The flames eventually subsided, and Telm was relieved to find himself able to breathe again, though still bound. The ordeal continued with more strange forces and sensations until everything became still. Telm found himself back to normal weight, and the creature who had been observing him moved to the center of the room, pressing a button that caused the floor to sink. The walls were replaced by odd, round objects of various sizes. Telm was lifted and placed back on the ground, where he was carried outside. As he was set down on the shore of the large, salty lake, Telm recognized the area. The creature had brought him back to the very place where he had first encountered it. Telm watched as the strange object he had been carried in began to rise into the sky, disappearing from view. The creature handed him his spear, pointed towards the forest, and gestured for him to follow. Despite the strange experience, Telm was determined to return to his village. As he carried the Zelva he had hunted, he looked back but saw no sign of the creature. He found only footprints leading away from the clearing. Telm followed them back to the shore, where he saw the large object still ascending into the sky, its rumbling fading into the distance. He returned to his village with the Zelva, carrying with him not just the prize of the hunt, but a story that would change everything. The encounter with the unknown being had left an indelible mark on him, and he knew his life and the lives of his people would never be the same again. The unexpected alliance. In the heart of the alien city, where towering structures of glistening metal reached for the sky, the hum of advanced machinery blended with the chatter of its inhabitants. These beings, the Yelvians, had a reputation for their militaristic prowess and technological brilliance. Yet, today, their pride was challenged by an unexpected visitor. Commander Rhea, leader of the Yelvian Defense Forces, paced the room with a mix of irritation and curiosity. She had been briefed on the situation. A human, a species they had barely interacted with, had managed to infiltrate their advanced communications network. This was not just any human, it was John Miller, an engineer who had been sent to repair a malfunctioning satellite. Instead of simply fixing the issue, Miller had somehow gained access to highly sensitive data. As she walked, her second-in-command, Lieutenant Kaur, followed closely. "Commander, we have him contained in a secure holding cell. He appears to be just an ordinary human, but his skills are extraordinary. We should consider a more thorough interrogation." Rhea's eyes narrowed. An interrogation. We need to understand why he did this and what else he might have uncovered. Our technology is too valuable to risk. Meanwhile, in the holding cell, John Miller sat calmly, his hands resting on his knees. Despite the high-security environment, he remained unflustered. His mind raced with possibilities. He knew he had accessed information that could shift the balance of power in this conflict. But why was he being held? The Yelvians could have simply erased the data he had seen, but instead, they had chosen to contain him. When Rhea entered the cell, she was met with Miller's unwavering gaze. "Mr. Miller, I'm Commander Rhea. You've managed to get our attention, which is no small feat. I'd like to know what you were doing in our network and why you chose to do so." Miller, although cautious, decided honesty might be his best approach. "Commander, I was sent to fix a satellite malfunction. I didn't intend to intrude on your systems. When I discovered the data, I realized it was more significant than I anticipated." Rhea's expression softened slightly. "So you weren't trying to sabotage us?" "Not at all," Miller replied earnestly. "My job was to fix a problem, not create new ones." Rhea took a moment to consider his words. The Yelvians had always valued skill and resourcefulness, and Miller's presence was proving to be a test of their own values. "You're free to go. However, you will be under surveillance. If you have any intentions beyond repair work, you will be held accountable." Miller nodded, relieved but still wary. He had come to understand that the Yelvians were not a race to be trifled with. Their technology was indeed advanced, and their resolve unyielding. His encounter with Rhea had been a turning point, one that he hoped would lead to a better understanding between their species. As he left the cell, Rhea watched him with a mixture of respect and suspicion. She had underestimated the human's ingenuity, and this encounter had made her question her previous assumptions. Perhaps there was more to this species than mere curiosity and technological ambition. In the coming days, Miller was given limited access to the Yelvian city, allowing him to continue his repair work while under strict observation. His interactions with the Yelvians were monitored closely, yet he found moments of camaraderie and understanding. The humans' fascination with technology and their willingness to learn had started to bridge the gap between the two species. Meanwhile, in the heart of the Yelvian Command Center, Rhea convened a meeting with her advisors. The recent events had sparked a debate among them. Some argued for a continued stance of suspicion, while others saw an opportunity for a new kind of alliance. One of her advisors, Dr. Varan, spoke up. "Commander, the humans' presence could be beneficial. Their skills in technology could complement our own. We might consider integrating them into our projects, if only on a trial basis." Rhea considered this suggestion. It's a risky move, but if we can harness their skills while ensuring our security, it might lead to unprecedented advancements for both of us. As the meeting concluded, Rhea felt a newfound sense of possibility. The encounter with Miller had opened a door she hadn't anticipated. The idea of collaboration with humans was both exciting and daunting, but it was a challenge she was willing to embrace. Back in the human quarters, Miller had started to establish connections with the Yelvians. He learned about their culture, their values, and their technological advancements. The initial tension between him and the Yelvians began to dissipate, replaced by mutual curiosity and respect. The days turned into weeks, and Miller's presence in the Yelvian city became more accepted. The Yelvians, in turn, began to see the value of human ingenuity. This evolving relationship was laying the groundwork for a partnership that neither side had anticipated, but both were beginning to appreciate. As Miller looked out over the sprawling city from his quarters, he reflected on how far he had come. What started as a simple repair job had led to an unexpected alliance. He knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with challenges, opportunities, and the potential for growth. The future was uncertain, but the journey of cooperation and understanding between humans and Yelvians had only just begun. The unlikely collaboration. As the days turned into weeks, the collaboration between John Miller and the Yelvians evolved into a unique partnership. The Yelvians had never imagined working alongside another species, but Miller's expertise had become indispensable. His problem-solving skills and innovative approach were proving to be valuable assets. The first major test of their partnership came when the Yelvian city experienced a severe energy crisis. The energy core, a crucial component of their city's infrastructure, had malfunctioned, causing widespread disruptions. The Yelvians' attempts to repair it using their own technology had failed, and the situation was becoming critical. Commander Rhea called an emergency meeting with her top engineers and scientists. "We need a solution, and we need it fast. Our city is on the brink of a complete shutdown. We've exhausted our own methods, and it's time to consider alternatives." Dr. Varan, who had become a key advocate for Miller's inclusion in their projects, spoke up. "Commander, I suggest we involve Miller. His experience with human technology might provide a fresh perspective." Rhea hesitated, but saw no other viable options. "Very well. Miller will join the repair team. Ensure that his access is limited to the energy core and nothing else." Miller was quickly briefed on the situation. The energy core was a massive structure, a marvel of Yelvian engineering, but it was complex and unfamiliar to him. Yet, he approached the challenge with determination. He knew that the success of this mission could solidify his standing with the Yelvians and pave the way for a deeper collaboration. The repair team worked tirelessly, and Miller, though initially overwhelmed by the advanced technology, quickly adapted. He suggested a combination of human techniques and Yelvian methods, aiming to leverage the strengths of both species. As the team labored, Miller discovered a critical flaw in the energy core's design that had been overlooked by the Yelvians. It was a small issue, but it had significant repercussions. Miller proposed a temporary fix using available materials, combined with a long-term solution that would require a redesign of the core's components. Rhea observed the process closely. She was impressed by Miller's resourcefulness and his ability to think outside the box. Despite the urgency of the situation, Miller's approach was methodical and systematic, showing a level of expertise that transcended species boundaries. After hours of intense work, the temporary fix was in place. The energy levels began to stabilize, and the immediate crisis was averted. The Yelvians, though relieved, knew that the long-term solution would require more time and resources. Miller's proposed redesign was ambitious but necessary. Rhea and Miller met after the crisis had been addressed. "Your work was impressive, Miller. You managed to solve a problem that we couldn't. I'm willing to consider your proposal for the long-term solution, but it will require significant collaboration." Miller nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I appreciate the opportunity. I believe that with continued cooperation, we can not only solve this issue but also enhance our technologies in ways we hadn't imagined." Rhea extended her hand. "Then let's move forward. Our collaboration could be the key to both our success and survival." The energy crisis marked a turning point in the relationship between the humans and the Yelvians. It demonstrated that their combined efforts could achieve remarkable results. The Yelvians began to see the value of human ingenuity, and Miller gained respect and trust among his Yelvian counterparts. As the days went by, the Yelvians and humans worked side by side on the redesign of the energy core. The project brought them closer together, fostering a deeper understanding and respect between the two species. The initial barriers of mistrust and skepticism began to dissolve, replaced by a shared sense of purpose. In the midst of this collaboration, Rhea and Miller continued to have discussions about their respective cultures and technologies. Their conversations revealed a wealth of knowledge and perspective that enriched both sides. The Yelvians learned about human resilience and adaptability, while the humans gained insights into Yelvian advanced science and engineering. One evening, as Miller and Rhea walked through the bustling city, Rhea commented, "I never expected our partnership to become so integral. Your presence here has changed how we view our own capabilities." Miller smiled, "And working with you has shown me that there's so much more to explore and achieve when different minds come together." Their partnership was a testament to the power of collaboration and understanding. What had begun as a simple repair job had grown into a groundbreaking alliance that held the promise of a brighter future for both species. The project continued to progress, and the successful redesign of the energy core marked a significant achievement. The Yelvians and humans celebrated their success, recognizing that their combined efforts had led to a solution that neither could have accomplished alone. As the sun set over the city, casting a warm glow over the skyline, Miller and Rhea looked toward the future with optimism. The path ahead was filled with challenges and opportunities, but they were confident that their collaboration would continue to thrive. The journey of cooperation between the humans and the Yelvians had only just begun, and the possibilities were as vast as the stars that shone above them. The unexpected challenge. As the months passed, the collaboration between the Yelvians and humans became a well-oiled machine. The redesigned energy core had stabilized the city's power supply, and the exchange of knowledge had led to several technological advancements. The Yelvians had started to incorporate human engineering practices into their projects, while humans learned to adapt to Yelvian technology. Their partnership was flourishing. However, the harmony was soon disrupted by an unforeseen threat. A previously unknown alien race, the Zorethians, arrived in the Yelvian sector. The Zorethians were a formidable species known for their aggressive expansionist policies and advanced weaponry. Their sudden appearance caused alarm among the Yelvians. Commander Rhea called an emergency meeting with her senior officers and the human delegation, including Miller. The conference room was tense, filled with the hum of worried voices and the flicker of holographic displays. "We've detected Zorathian ships entering our space," Rhea began, her tone grim. "Their intentions are unclear, but their history suggests they might be here for conquest." Miller looked at the holographic display showing the approaching Zorathian fleet. The ships were sleek and menacing, their designs optimized for speed and firepower. He could sense the gravity of the situation. "Commander," Miller spoke up, "we need to assess their capabilities and prepare for a defensive strategy. I suggest we combine our technologies to create a defense system that leverages both Yelvian and human strengths." Rhea nodded, agreed. "Our first priority is to protect the city and our technological assets. We'll need to act quickly and efficiently." The Alliance's engineers and scientists, both Yelvian and human, worked around the clock to develop a defensive strategy. Miller proposed a dual-layered defense system that integrated human and Yelvian technologies. The plan included a series of advanced energy shields combined with human-designed countermeasures and Yelvian weaponry enhancements. As the Zorathian fleet neared, the defense system was put to the test. The Yelvian city was fortified with energy shields that could withstand powerful blasts, while human-designed drones provided additional firepower and surveillance capabilities. The initial encounter with the Zorathians was fierce. Their ships unleashed a barrage of energy beams and missiles, testing the limits of the newly deployed defense system. The combined efforts of the Yelvian and human forces managed to hold their ground, but the situation remained precarious. During the battle, Miller and Rhea coordinated the defense from the command center. Miller monitored the data streams, analyzing the Zorathian attack patterns and adjusting the defense parameters in real time. Rhea commanded the Yelvian forces with precision, directing their efforts to exploit weaknesses in the Zorathian strategy. Despite their best efforts, the Zorathians managed to breach some of the outer defenses, causing damage to several key areas of the city. The situation was dire, and the need for a decisive solution became evident. Miller, thinking quickly, proposed a high-risk maneuver. "We need to deploy a counter-offensive strike to disrupt their command structure. If we can disable their flagship, it might force the rest of the fleet to retreat." Rhea hesitated, but recognized the potential of the plan. "Do it, but be prepared for heavy resistance." A combined team of Yelvian and human forces launched a daring mission to infiltrate the Zorathian flagship. They used advanced stealth technology and precise coordination to bypass enemy defenses and reach the core systems of the flagship. The operation was intense. The team faced fierce Zorathian soldiers and complex security systems. Miller's quick thinking and adaptability proved invaluable, allowing the team to overcome obstacles and reach the flagship's central control room. With a calculated strike, they managed to disable the flagship's command systems. The Zorathian fleet, now leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. The city's defense forces pursued the fleeing ships, ensuring that the threat was neutralized. The aftermath of the battle was one of both relief and reflection. The Yelvians and humans had successfully defended the city, but the experience had shown the vulnerabilities that needed to be addressed. The Zorathian attack had also highlighted the strength of their partnership and the effectiveness of their combined technologies. In the days following the battle, Rhea and Miller met to assess the situation. "Your plan was risky, but it worked. We've gained valuable insights into our defensive capabilities and the need for continued cooperation." Miller nodded. The Zorathian threat was a wake-up call. We need to keep evolving our technologies and strategies to face future challenges. The successful defense of the Yelvian city marked a new chapter in the alliance between the Yelvians and humans. Their collaboration had not only strengthened their technological advancements, but also forged a bond of mutual respect and trust. As the city began to rebuild and recover, Miller and Rhea continued to work together, focusing on enhancing their combined defenses and preparing for any future threats. The experience had solidified their partnership, proving that through cooperation and innovation, they could overcome even the most formidable challenges. The alliance between the Yelvians and humans had been tested and strengthened, setting the stage for a future of shared success and exploration. The journey of collaboration had only just begun, and both species were ready to face whatever lay ahead. A new dawn. With the Zorathian threat behind them, the Yelvians and humans turned their focus to rebuilding and strengthening their partnership. The battle had shown them that their combined efforts were more than just a blend of technologies. They were a force capable of overcoming great challenges. The city began to recover from the damage, and both species worked tirelessly to enhance their infrastructure and defenses. Miller and Rhea, now symbols of the successful collaboration between their peoples, found themselves at the forefront of a new initiative. They decided to turn their attention to an ambitious project: the development of an interstellar communication network. The goal was to establish a reliable means of contact with other allied systems and potential new partners. The project was a monumental task, involving the creation of a network of relay stations, advanced communication relays, and a central hub capable of transmitting and receiving signals across vast distances. It required expertise from both Yelvian and human scientists and engineers. Miller took on the role of project coordinator, organizing teams and managing resources. Rhea provided invaluable insight into the Yelvian technologies that could be integrated into the network. Their complementary skills made them an effective team, and their combined leadership inspired confidence in the project. As the work progressed, they encountered numerous challenges. The integration of Yelvian and human technologies proved to be complex, requiring constant adjustments and refinements. There were moments of frustration and setbacks, but Miller and Rhea remained determined, driven by the vision of a connected galaxy. One evening, while reviewing progress reports in the command center, Rhea looked at Miller with a thoughtful expression. "You know, this project isn't just about technology. It's about our future and our ability to connect with others beyond our current reach." Miller nodded. "Absolutely. It's about creating a network that allows us to share knowledge, collaborate on new ventures, and build alliances. It's a way to ensure that the future we're working towards is one of unity and progress." Their dedication paid off when the first relay station was successfully activated. The system performed flawlessly, and the signals were clear and stable. It was a significant milestone, marking the beginning of a new era of communication. With the initial success of the relay network, Miller and Rhea organized a grand ceremony to celebrate the achievement. The event was attended by representatives from various sectors of the Yelvian society and the human delegation. It was a moment of pride and celebration, symbolizing the strength of their alliance and the potential for future collaboration. During the ceremony, Miller and Rhea addressed the assembled crowd. "Today marks a new beginning," Miller said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "This network represents more than just technological advancement. It's a testament to our partnership and our shared vision for the future." Rhea added, "Together, we've overcome challenges and created something that will benefit not just our two species, but potentially many others. This is the first step in a journey that will lead us to new discoveries and new friends." The ceremony was followed by a series of successful tests of the communication network, which demonstrated its capability to transmit data across impressive distances. The network's success opened up new possibilities for interstellar exploration and diplomacy. As the months passed, the interstellar communication network continued to expand. New relay stations were established, and contact was made with other systems and potential allies. The Yelvians and humans forged new relationships and shared their technological advancements, contributing to a growing network of interstellar cooperation. Miller and Rhea found themselves increasingly involved in diplomatic missions and exploratory ventures. Their efforts were instrumental in establishing positive relations with new species and integrating them into the growing network of allies. The success of the communication network had far-reaching effects. It facilitated the exchange of scientific knowledge, cultural insights, and technological innovations. The Yelvians and humans became central players in a broader interstellar community, known for their collaborative spirit and innovative achievements. As the year drew to a close, Miller and Rhea stood on a balcony overlooking the Yelvian city, now a hub of activity and progress. The skyline was adorned with new structures and advanced technologies, a testament to their achievements. Rhea turned to Miller with a smile. "Look at what we've accomplished. This city, this network, none of it would have been possible without our partnership. Miller returned the smile, and it's just the beginning. We've laid the foundation for a future filled with possibilities. There's so much more to explore and discover. As they gazed out at the horizon, the future seemed full of promise. The Yelvians and humans had proven that through cooperation, innovation, and mutual respect, they could overcome any challenge and build a brighter future together. The journey they had embarked on was far from over, but with each step, they were creating a legacy of unity and progress for generations to come. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and with it, the promise of endless possibilities and the assurance that the bonds forged between their peoples would guide them through the adventures that lay ahead, shadows and light. As the interstellar communication network flourished, the Yelvians and humans enjoyed a period of relative peace and prosperity. Their joint efforts in diplomacy and exploration brought new opportunities and challenges, but the spirit of collaboration remained strong. However, beneath the surface of their success, a new threat began to stir. Reports of unexplained disturbances in distant systems started to trickle in. These disturbances included intermittent communication failures, strange energy readings, and unconfirmed sightings of unknown spacecraft. At first, the incidents were dismissed as anomalies, but as they continued, the concern grew. Miller and Rhea were in the command center when the latest report came in. A series of signals from an outer rim system indicated a potential breach of their newly established network. The data was fragmented, but the patterns suggested a sophisticated level of interference. This could be the work of a new faction, Rhea speculated, her brow furrowing as she analyzed the data. Or it might be something we haven't encountered before. Miller nodded, his expression serious. We need to investigate these anomalies thoroughly. If there's a threat, we need to understand it before it escalates. They assembled a team of experts from both species to conduct a deep analysis of the disturbances. The team included engineers, scientists, and security personnel, all working together to unravel the mystery. As they delved deeper, they discovered that the disturbances were originating from a region of space known as the Void, a largely unexplored and isolated area with few known inhabitants. The Void had always been shrouded in mystery, and the new interference only heightened the sense of unease. Miller and Rhea decided that a reconnaissance mission to the Void was necessary. They needed to gather first-hand information and assess the situation. The mission would involve traveling to the heart of the Void and investigating the source of the disturbances. The journey to the Void was fraught with challenges. The region was filled with cosmic anomalies, such as gravitational distortions and dense asteroid fields. The team navigated these hazards with skill and precision, relying on their combined expertise and advanced technology. As they approached the source of the interference, they detected an uncharted space station. The station was heavily fortified and appeared to be emitting the disruptive signals that had plagued their network. Miller and Rhea, along with a small team of specialists, boarded a stealth shuttle and made their way to the station. They approached cautiously, using advanced scanning equipment to assess the station's defenses and internal layout. The space station was a marvel of engineering, with intricate designs and advanced technology. However, it also exhibited signs of neglect and decay, suggesting it had been abandoned or left in disrepair. After bypassing the outer defenses, the team gained access to the station's control center. There, they discovered a series of consoles and terminals that revealed the purpose of the station. It was a relay station, similar to the ones they had built, but designed to disrupt rather than transmit signals. The data they retrieved indicated that the station was operated by a faction known as a Sci-Fi, a mysterious and reclusive group with a reputation for technological prowess and isolationist policies. The Sci-Fi had been using the station to disrupt communication and sabotage efforts to establish interstellar cooperation. Miller and Rhea realized that the Sci-Fi were likely testing their capabilities and trying to undermine the alliance between the Yelvians and humans. The knowledge they gained from the station would be crucial in countering the threat. Before leaving the station, They planted a series of beacons and tracking devices to monitor any further activity from the Scytha. As they returned to their ship, the team was filled with a mix of relief and determination. Back at their base, Miller and Rhea briefed their respective leaders and allies about the findings. The information was met with concern, but also with a renewed sense of purpose. The Scytha's interference was a serious threat, but it also provided an opportunity to strengthen their defenses and enhance their cooperation. In the weeks that followed, the Yelvians and humans worked together to develop countermeasures against the Scytha's technology. They implemented new security protocols, upgraded their communication systems, and increased surveillance in vulnerable areas. Miller and Rhea continued to lead the effort, their bonds stronger than ever. They knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but they were committed to protecting the Alliance and ensuring that their vision of a united interstellar community would prevail. One evening, as they reviewed the latest updates in the command center, Rhea looked at Miller with a thoughtful expression. "It's remarkable how far we've come. We've faced so many challenges, and each time, we've come out stronger." Miller nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "We've proven that together, we can overcome any obstacle. The Scytha are a formidable opponent, but they underestimate the strength of our alliance. We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for the future we're building together." As they prepared for the next phase of their mission, Miller and Rhea knew that the true test of their partnership was yet to come. The shadow of the Scytha loomed over them, but they were ready to face it with courage and resilience. The future of their alliance, and the future of the interstellar community, depended on their ability to confront the threats and continue their journey toward unity and progress. The path ahead was uncertain, but with each step, they moved closer to a brighter and more secure future. The dawn of unity. The days turned into weeks, and the combined efforts of the Yelvians and humans began to yield results. The enhanced security measures and new protocols were proving effective against the Scytha's interference. Communication was becoming more stable, and the threat from the Scytha seemed to be contained, at least for now. However, the conflict had revealed the need for a more comprehensive approach to interstellar diplomacy and defense. Both species recognized that their future depended on building a robust and adaptable alliance capable of facing any challenge. Miller and Rhea spearheaded a series of diplomatic and strategic initiatives aimed at strengthening the partnership between the Yelvians and humans. They organized a grand summit, inviting representatives from various factions, species, and planets to discuss and formalize a unified approach to interstellar governance and security. The summit was held on a neutral space station, chosen for its symbolic significance as a place where diverse cultures and species could come together. The station was transformed into a grand venue for diplomacy, with meeting rooms, presentation halls, and areas for informal discussions. Miller and Rhea opened the summit with a powerful speech, reflecting on their shared journey and the lessons learned from their experiences. They spoke about the importance of collaboration, mutual respect, and the collective goal of building a united and prosperous interstellar community. As the summit progressed, representatives from various factions presented their perspectives and proposals. The discussions were intense and sometimes contentious, but there was a shared recognition of the need for a common framework to address the challenges they faced. One of the key outcomes of the summit was the establishment of the Interstellar Unity Council, IUC, an organization dedicated to fostering cooperation and managing conflicts among member species and planets. The council would be composed of representatives from each faction, with decision-making powers and responsibilities for maintaining peace and promoting joint initiatives. The IUC's creation marked a significant milestone in the quest for interstellar unity. It provided a formal structure for collaboration and offered a platform for addressing grievances and resolving disputes. The Council's formation was celebrated as a triumph of diplomacy and a testament to the strength of the alliance between the Yelvians and humans. In addition to the IUU, the summit also led to the launch of several joint projects and programs. These included research initiatives, cultural exchange programs, and collaborative defense efforts. The projects aim to further integrate the diverse cultures and technologies of the participating species, fostering a deeper sense of understanding and shared purpose. As the summit concluded, Miller and Rhea reflected on the journey they had undertaken. They had faced numerous obstacles and challenges, but their commitment to each other and their vision of a united interstellar community had driven them forward. The summit had solidified their partnership and paved the way for a brighter future. With the new framework in place, Miller and Rhea continued their work with renewed vigor. They traveled to various planets and systems, meeting with leaders and stakeholders to ensure the effective implementation of the IUC's decisions and initiatives. Their efforts were met with enthusiasm and support from across the galaxy. The presence of the IUC and the collaborative projects began to bear fruit. The interstellar community saw increased stability and prosperity, with fewer conflicts and more opportunities for growth and exploration. The alliance between the Yelvians and humans became a beacon of hope and a model for others to follow. In their personal lives, Miller and Rhea's bond continued to deepen. Their shared experiences and achievements had forged a strong friendship and mutual respect. They remained dedicated to their roles as leaders and advocates for interstellar unity, but they also cherished the moments of camaraderie and reflection that they shared. One evening, as they gazed out at the stars from the observation deck of their flagship, Rhea turned to Miller with a contemplative expression. "Do you ever think about how different things might have been if we hadn't met? If the Yelvians and humans hadn't come together?" Miller smiled, his gaze focused on the endless expanse of space. "Sometimes, but then I remember that everything we've achieved was because we chose to work together. Our differences became our strengths, and our shared goals guided us through the toughest challenges." Rhea nodded, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "It's incredible to think about how far we've come, and there's still so much more to explore and discover." Miller's voice was filled with hope and determination. "Indeed, the journey is far from over, but as long as we stay united and continue to embrace our shared vision, there's no limit to what we can accomplish." As they stood side by side, looking out at the vast and beautiful universe, Miller and Rhea felt a deep sense of fulfillment and optimism. The future was bright, and the possibilities were endless. Together, they had laid the foundation for a new era of interstellar cooperation and understanding, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The dawn of unity had arrived, and with it, the promise of a better and more harmonious future for all species and civilizations. The journey of the Yelvians and humans had proven that even in the face of adversity, the power of collaboration and shared vision could overcome any obstacle and build a lasting legacy of peace and progress.